to your point, if these CBDCs are put into play, and let's say the United States creates a digital dollar, they would have these stablecoin issuers use that as the reserve. So that's fascinating.
Yes, I think so too.
Wow,
I
so
think so too.
interesting.
And you end up addressing privacy pretty well, right? Um, the retail side, when you look at what the central bank can see, the way you can tell whether there is a level of privacy when it comes to CBDC on the retail side is one, whether the central bank is the direct interface provider. We've seen a couple of central banks think about how to introduce their own app. That's one, and their own app is the only way to get access to the CBDC. I think that there's kind of at least a perception of the central bank seeing your information directly, but central banks don't really want to do that because the idea of doing KYC and AML.
Yeah.
Central banks don't want the risk of doing that. So they're not in the business of doing that. So I think there's a natural disincentive for them to get into that role. What most central banks are expecting and have expressed desire to do, the design is really to make CBDC and cash available through the private sector solutions. The same way you have to go to an ATM, you don't go to the central bank, you don't go to the Fed directly to get your cash, you go to an ATM to get your cash. There's going to be an intermediary that provides that. And that information, your private information, is with your provider, not with the central bank. Right. And one of the benefits of using a public ledger is that you can actually see what the central bank sees. Right. And the central bank can say, here's what's on the ledger. Here's what we see. There's no private information on there. In order for us to get your private information, one, it has to be under the construct, whether it's AML or any suspicious activities. But then we still have to go through your financial service provider and work with them for any investigations and so on. The same way it's done today, to be honest, right? If there is any suspicious activity, then your bank is part of the conversation as far as getting information. But that, for me, is a benefit of using public ledger, that everyone can see what's visible. And then the second thing is putting the laws around that and making sure that it's not only codified, but it is legally kind of stated that the central bank does not receive PII under certain, except under certain circumstances. And then the second thing is that the token is designed as a bearer's instrument, meaning if you hold it, it's yours, just like it's cash. No one is coming to you and kind of taking your cash from your pocket. So a central bank should not be able to kind of take cash out of your wallet. Again, minus the extreme circumstances that would require that. But I think that's a good way of being able to address that.